Time for an updated garden tour. This is our plum tree, and we got 2 plums from it. I think that is the season, but it was just planted this year, so that was pretty good. We got 2 plums from it. This is our city-provided avocado tree, which has 8 avocados on it. Isn't that awesome? Now, when it got delivered, there were actually several more, but they didn't survive. The avocados, the tiny, tiny baby avocados, many of them dropped off. And here we are. But we still have 8. We are hoping that the critters, possums, raccoons, whatever, don't end up getting to them before we do, or maybe even human critters, but or at least that we might have a few. Of the 8. Here we have our potato farm. We have 2 plants that are volunteers, and they were there when we planted potato eyes from potatoes we had gotten. They are the little red ones, which are better, and usually they don't grow to be much bigger than that. And look what we have here. Broccoli. Isn't it awesome? The last time I had fresh homegrown broccoli, I was in DC, and it was amazing. Although there is a story about the worm that crawled out of the broccoli and showed up at the top of the pot. We did not end up eating that batch. I found out that the broccoli greens are edible, but most of the time people do not eat broccoli greens. I think that's sort of interesting, right? It just gets tossed. What the heck? And then here, look, we have another stalk of broccoli coming out off of the main guy. So is that how it works? Because it would seem awfully weird that we would have one head of broccoli coming from all of this broccoli plant and then not eat all of the rest, so then that would be the only product. But it looks like maybe there'll be other heads that come off of the same plant. So that'll be good. Carrots, which we don't know how big they are. Last time we checked, they were pretty tiny. Now there's a lot of carrots going on here. And, but, oh yeah, so this one here, look, we're starting to see some carrot stems. So that's kind of nice. The carrot tops. And the carrot tops are edible too. Here we have kale. This kale plant was planted over a year ago, I think. And it's coming along just nicely. It does get eaten by cabbage worms, which comes from I think a little yellow butterfly. But we are able to harvest enough to consider it a success. We're kind of wondering about these little nubs that are coming up here, whether they'll actually start turning into new branches of kale, which is kind of nice, right? Because we didn't know how long this thing was going to get and how tall. So if it would start sort of lowering its base, productive base, that would be nice. This is the parsley plant, which is still producing, though certainly not at the rate that it was producing last year. Parsley, not that great on, but we have been using it. Here is cilantro grown from the seed. The carrots were grown from the seed too. And the broccoli. And so this is really great. Looking forward to cilantro. And then here we have beets. The last time I tested the beet, it was way too tiny. And see, we're starting to see the beet heads here. Now they're still only about this size, judging from what's exposed. Yeah, only about that size, which may be all that we get. Here we have a volunteer tomato plant, and we decided to go with cherry tomatoes. That one was planted, and then there are lots of volunteers coming up here. And I think we planted this heirloom one here. But we have been getting tomatoes daily, and it's lovely. I've even made homemade choca with it, which is a Trinidadian tomato dish. And this is our bean plant. Our first bean plant was not very successful. Our second does not look successful, but I will take a photograph of the beans. Oh, no, I thought this was a bean. Of the beans inside, because we are finally going to eat beans for dinner. We've been harvesting them little by little. This is peppermint. And this one has been here a while. Peppermint likes to grow and can take over all your bins if you let it. I think it was in another bin last year. So this one's been around a little bit, maybe about a year. More tomatoes. As I said, lots of tomatoes ripening every day, which leads to a very nice crop. Over here, we have green onions. Now, you can plant green onion tops or roots from the green onions you buy at the store. And we have harvested these over and over again, and they're growing again. So what we do now is we just cut it off, and we don't even pull up the roots. And I don't know if over time it's taking longer to grow, but it's coming, right? So that's good. And here in this little area, oh, it looks like something, I wonder, no, that's a cut top. That's good. That is leeks. If you've never had leek potato leek soup, so amazing. So then here's another one. So we had 4 that we bought at the store. This one does not look like it's coming along. And darn it, I see lots of snail shells. So given the chance, I don't know if the snails will go after the leeks. That is a problem that we've had, critters going after things, because we planted celery once. It was coming along very well. And then one day, the entire celery plant was gone. So it was growing up about this much, and the whole thing was gone. So we think it might have been a possum or a raccoon. Anyway, so, oh right, but there's more. But there's more. Here we have arugula. It's kind of sad. We think it's the container that's causing the problem. But these little bits of arugula are still able to be harvested, so we call them microgreens, you know. We had 3 bits of basil plant that were harvested from a bunch given to me from someone. And we're not sure if this is growing. The debate is out as to whether it's actually growing. It's not. I think it is, because it would have tried
every day like I do.
But I think maybe that's the problem. By the way, we're on the camera. And then this is another lettuce green. Again, we think this will stay at a microgreen level, probably because the size of the container doesn't permit it to grow enough. I don't know. And then that one never grew. So there we go. Garden tour. And look at what happened here. From the compost, we had avocado seeds, and we have a little avocado plant that's growing up here. Isn't that interesting? Do you see it? That white and tan thing down below? A little avocado tree.